Hello, everyone. I'm Liz Williams, the chair of the SRA 22 organizing committee, and I wanted to take a bit of a step back after the week that we've had and look across the case studies we've engaged with this week to see if we can identify some possible challenges and opportunities that the case studies as a whole all reveal when thinking about how to shape algorithmic systems with social responsibility in mind. So that's really the purpose of this session today. I know not everyone on this call may have been in all of the case studies, so just an agenda for you. We're going to do a quick recap of what we did. We'll then look across the case studies for commonalities. We'll talk about challenges and opportunities, and I'll be opening up the floor for any of you to share anything you'd observe as well, because this is clearly oh, thank you. Thank you, Kathy. This is clearly something where, we have actually created a lot of interesting data this week, and it's going to take a little bit of time to process it all. So to begin, Monday, we explored the multi-level perspective, or MLP, with Amir Asadi, Ned Cooper, Memonat Ibrahim, and Lauren Ruster from the ANU School of Cybernetics. Their case study focused on facial recognition, in particular as employed in the Home Quarantine South Australia app during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The MLP is an analytical framework for analyzing how technological transitions happen. It features 3 levels: a niche level, which is where, for example, tech startups might sit. This is where new technologies are being developed. It's our unevenly distributed future, if you're a William Gibson fan. And for technology to become commonplace, it needs to move from the niche level to the middle or regime level. There are sub-regimes that you might be familiar with: science, culture, technology, and so on. And niche technologies can influence the regime level. And of course, the regime level also shapes the niche. And finally, there's the landscape level, which is where things like climate fit in. The landscape is slow moving most of the time, but major events can sometimes shift things rapidly at the landscape level. And when this happens, this can shake up the usual timescales for technology to transition from the niche level to the regime level. In this workshop, we got a chance to briefly play with MLP using facial recognition as the point of focus, and we brainstormed possible impacts of facial recognition technology in each of the sub-regimes. We considered what was captured and wasn't in that exercise. So what were the challenges of making use of the MLP? What were some of the opportunities? We also considered how we could potentially use MLP or tools like it in our roles. This gave us a chance to find out a bit about each other and consider whether, when, and how frameworks like this could play a role in our work. On Tuesday, we were very fortunate to get a visit from the Australian Institute of Marine Science collaborators, Lyndon Llewellyn, Melanie Olson, and Scott Bainbridge. They collaborated with Hannah Feldman from the ANU Institute for Water Futures to create a case study around how we monitor the Great Barrier Reef now and into the future. We heard from Lyndon, Scott, and Melanie about how monitoring the Great Barrier Reef, or GBR, has been done and how it's evolving. The past looks like divers meticulously recording observations along specific transects or lines along the reef, resulting in a nearly 40-year-old record of the health of the Great Barrier Reef. The future still has divers, but autonomous technologies too. And these changes raise questions about trust in the technologies we use to monitor our planet, but also in ourselves and in our past work. And so we took some time to explore what roles autonomous systems, machine learning are playing or may play in the future for the monitoring of the Great Barrier Reef. We looked at how these changes will potentially influence trust in the data AIMS collects and in the insights it provides. And we also explored how they're changing the role of humans in the monitoring work that AIMS carries out. And of course, the many organizational changes this might trigger. Hannah then introduced this possibility cone where probable, plausible, and possible futures and preferred futures all can get mapped out as a function of time. And then we use these beautiful cards from Superflux to read some fortunes for the Great Barrier Reef and AIMS as a way of crafting some scenarios around what the future might hold. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about this activity is we all had different perspectives on what the cards meant and who they were referring to or what they were referring to and what that meant for the story of that future that we were envisioning, or the many futures we were collectively envisioning in our groups. We went back to land next and things got a bit hot. Our Wednesday session, led by Felicity Millman with collaborators Zena Assad and Jean-Baptiste Filippi, began with the 2019-2020 Australian bushfires, but then steered us towards the future too. Felicity introduced the Voros cone, which, much like Hannah's vision, has possible, projected, probable, plausible, and possible futures as a function of time, with the preferable future that's pictured here. There's also a preposterous future in this Voros cone. And she presented this tool for considering impacts and actors, the many influences they might have on what the future might unfold. It's a projection of the range of futures, but with new axes, pointing out how many might be impacted and whether that impact might be beneficial or detrimental. So we explored two realistic scenarios relating to the future of bushfire monitoring and fighting in Australia with these maps. Thursday, we explored the social responsibility of digital agriculture with Joseph Guillaume, Nicolas Paget, Hannah Feldman, and Catherine Daniel. Joseph described the workshop aim as this: to explore the possible ripple effects of digital agriculture, visions of what the world could look like with digital agriculture, and opportunities for supporting and regulating change. What we did was this. Together in small groups, we produced this fantastic map that began with where we saw ourselves and ended in how we could potentially influence the system that we had laid out for ourselves with social responsibility in mind. There's a bit of dystopia here, but potentially bright spots in the futures we all see too. And I can't speak for everyone who did this activity, but I now have a much better sense of where and how I might make change in this space, especially with the help of collaborators in a range of areas. And finally, tonight's case study explored social responsibility in the financial sector, particularly focusing on financial well-being. This was with collaborators from the ANU School of Cybernetics and Combank, or CBA. We started with the definition for financial well-being that CBA has generated in collaboration with the Melbourne Institute. It has 4 dimensions: the extent to which people both perceive and have financial outcomes in which they meet their financial obligations, financial freedom to make choices that allow them to enjoy life, control of their finances, and financial security, now in the future and under possible adverse circumstances. We started with a brainstorming session for how we might help ourselves and others achieve financial well-being. This one was grounded in reality and the things we might already do to help ourselves or others achieve financial well-being along the 4 dimensions. We then did a design exercise that seemed simple at first. What kind of tools could we develop to help do these things? But then each subsequent step of the activity helped us think more deeply about our proposed tools' role in various systems. Who are the people involved? What systems they touch? What other organizations? All of these things. We grappled with how we could design such a tool for deployment at scale with social responsibility in mind. So let's take a step back. What are the commonalities across all the workshops? Well, I've named a few here that might get us started off. All the workshops introduced a methodology of some sort for exploring the future of technology in some way. This was by design. This was effectively a way of exploring, this is one way of exploring social responsibility. You can look at the past, you can project to the future, and you can start to look at, you can use the past to look for patterns. You can think about possible futures to figure out what you might need to consider when you're thinking about whether, when, and how to deploy a given piece of technology. Now, all our workshops were designed to welcome different voices, contributions, perspectives, and knowledges in different ways. This was also by design. Social responsibility is something that requires many different voices. And so it's really important to find ways to allow everybody to participate. All workshops were grounded that exploration in a case study that most of us could relate to on some level. We all come from very different places, have very different experiences, but When we have something to focus on, like a case study, it can help us work together in a way that we might not be able to otherwise. All the workshops involved small group activities that got us to work together, and all the workshops provided opportunities for participants to think about technologies from a systems perspective. And what challenges did we see? Well, there are many possible futures, and we all see and possibly want different ones. It's easy to get caught up in dystopian futures when considering social responsibility for algorithmic systems, and different tools work for different people and circumstances. So which ones do we choose? Bringing people with very different backgrounds together to work on any of these activities, that requires skilled facilitation. And language is a challenge. What do we mean? How do we mean it? How does it influence our contribution to a group? It takes time to work through these things. Appropriately defining boundaries for analyzing technology or technology policy from a social responsibility perspective is not always straightforward. In fact, it's almost never straightforward, and you always have to make a choice. And that choice is going to influence what you observe. In terms of opportunities, here are a few that I see. One was a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. There are many possible futures, and we all see and want different ones. Now, in all the methods we trialed, group dynamics shaped the outcomes. This meant we actually gathered information about how different people observed these different futures, how they thought about them, what they were hopeful for. Different methods can be combined to create complementary visions of the future, so we can potentially use ensemble approaches to shape different stages of the design process, either for technology or policy. Sometimes tools for research look like promising opportunities for shaping technological development with social responsibility in mind. So my question here is, can we find ways to apply some of these approaches successfully in a startup context, for example? We could go on with questions like that. Now, across all the workshops, we've raised a broad number of questions that we can use to help us consider algorithmic systems with social responsibility in mind. We'll be collecting all these questions and insights into an ANU Center for European Studies policy briefing for distribution after the workshop. For now, though, I wanted to give you all a chance to kind of look back over the week and see if there are any takeaways you might share about the experiences you had in the workshops. So I will open up the floor for questions or comments. Kathy.
Thanks so much, Liz, for that recap. I think you really captured the essence of what the last 5 days has really been about. I thought it was a lovely summary. Thank you. I've got a couple of reflections on some of the things that came to me as you were providing that summary. The first is about the socially situated nature of socially responsible algorithms. So we talk about socially responsible algorithms, but it's actually people and it's communities who bear the brunt of algorithms that run, and it's social networks and social collections of people that bear the brunt of those algorithms, that bear the consequences of algorithms. And I think there's something here that comes to me from the work that we've been doing about the importance of working with those communities, because concepts like fairness and trust and future building and future casting are very situated and they're contextual. So I think there's something very, very social about what we're talking about. And the second point that I'd like to reflect on is really about agency and the agency that we all have as practitioners. So a lot of the work that we've done has really been about giving us the tools and the techniques and the capabilities to not be a passive bystander in the creation of futures, but to actually take a hold and drive the outcomes that we want to see in the world. So they're my 2 key reflections about the social nature of algorithms and about our agency in shaping the consequences of those algorithms. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Your first reflection sort of brought up, I guess, both a challenge and opportunity as well. I mean, I'm remembering the panel discussion where, I think this was Ned and sorry, it's very late at night, but it was the panel discussion where, we were talking, there was a discussion about, participation, gathering participation. Often it's actually, that in itself, you have to be really responsible about. You have to be careful to not do that in such a way that you're going to be causing harm to the people you are asking to participate. You actually really have to respect that participation and honor it and pay for it and spend time on it and value it in the way that you use the information that you would gather, right? And you have to do that in a respectful way. And so that's actually a really real challenge. And so, I don't know. I don't know an answer. I don't have an answer to how to do that, but I think that's something worth thinking about in more detail. Alexis, I see you have raised your hand.
There is something we need to, let's say, clarify and understand well. No? Now, most of the things we do are related in supporting some decision process. No? So this could be related to the different case studies we have seen supporting policy making, supporting how we collect information, how we use it, etc., etc. No? Now, in doing that, we are firstly confronted with biases, unfair information, and things like that. No? Now, we need to understand what is the part of unfairness or whatever, let's say, politically incorrect comes from the society, and which is the part that we import in the process because we use an algorithm without considering the impact of the algorithm itself. No? This is a subtle distinction, but we need to be very careful about it. No, it happens, and some of the case studies have shown that that because of the type of algorithm we are planning to use, or we design, or we are using, no, we may introduce a bias. We are not aware of it. No? So the thing to which we have to pay a lot of attention, and the reason for which we set up, let's say, a workshop like this one, no, it is exactly to be able to focus on what are the challenges, no, when we adopt a certain procedure, no, not necessarily a computer-based one, no, any type of algorithm. It could be. So it could be a man-run algorithm, no? When we use that procedure, what type of bias we introduce in the society, no? And the case studies we have seen have been sufficiently rich to show this type of problem, no? We need to consider.
Thank you, Alexis. I really agree with you. And I'm looking for a name because I wanted to share it. We've done recently I was participating in some cultural competency training with the Institute for Water Futures with Glenn Lowray, who's kind of an amazing artist and priest. And I'm trying to remember, because it's very late and I don't remember a whole lot. I don't remember exactly what country he's from, but he's an Aboriginal artist. And one of his points was that we are all racist, right? We are all racist. It doesn't matter who we are. We have been, brought up in culture that has all of these issues, and we build these issues without really realizing it into the technologies we create. And so, that is a challenge. We are blind to our own biases. We are blind to our own prejudices. We are blind to this, and we have to work really hard to begin seeing, right? And to begin trying to figure out how we actually deal with that as a normal human being. But also, if you're thinking about creating an algorithmic system that's going to have, huge impacts on the world, that's a responsibility that we really have to work on, right? And it's a lifelong process. It's not a simple thing. I think Jackie has raised her hand. Did you have a comment on that or a question? I can't hear you, unfortunately. You're on mute.
I agree with everything everyone has surmised. And I just wanted to congratulate you on the breadth of issues, topics, people. I think you've really gathered such a huge array of issues. And for me, as an engagement person, not a researcher, the thing that is always front of mind for me is who we're speaking to and what do we want them to do. And I think in these questions, there is so much assumptions about how people learn. And the sessions that I've participated in have really honed in on the irrational ways we respond to information and how we make choices. They're not scientific. Like, most people don't make decisions based on doing thorough research. There's often a gut response to an emotional push. And that's where algorithmic programs can really influence us for better or for worse. So how can we get the better ones trumping the worse ones? So it's been a really rich conversation. And I think, you've got so much material now. I'm just looking forward to working with all of you to make these conversations go further. They deserve to, you know what I mean? Like, we've gathered up the beginning of a rich conversation, and this is just the beginning. So congratulations, Liz, Zena, and everyone.
Thank you, Jackie. I really appreciate that, and I will take you up on that. Any other comments or questions? I actually don't know how we're going for time.
Just a quick comment, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose one thing that stood out for me from all of this is that it wasn't just about focusing on specific decisions, that there is a strong element of building capacity more broadly, shaping systems so that the algorithms are embedded in the right context and have the right incentives, pressures within the system to have the outcomes that we want. And so from going to that meta level and building on what Jackie said, this event was really a contribution to that too, of being able to bring knowledge, make the connections and so on. So I think it was this really good balance that, we had these nice small group, intimate discussions, going deep into specific topics, building those relationships. I've now know a whole lot more about what School of Cybernetics does than I did before. And everybody else as well, obviously. And I think what's particularly exciting about this one, we've kind of been forced into this situation, but it's potentially a new frontier that we have all of these recordings, all of this pulled together. Can we actually build something that has a longer term impact as well as the on the spot intimate conversations as well?